Hello my spooky friends, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are going to be doing yet another Halloween junk journal flip through. I call these the big three because there's three of them and they're pretty big. So these are very different obviously from the ones that I've been doing the other flip throughs through. Flip throughs through for you? Something like that. Anyhow, these are, yeah. Well, let's just get into it. Let's just have a look-see. So, these are 7.5 wide by 10.5. Make sure I'm in frame here. Can you see what I'm doing? Yep. And I have got them packed. To say the least. And I love these covers. And I love the back. Oops. So, first of all, we've got this ghoulish gal. And I was saying to my friend Deneen, I'm on the fence about whether I think she is alive or if she's a ghoul. I tend to think that she is a mortal being still at this point, but yeah, I love how creepy and spooky she is. You know she lives in a haunted house, right? Like she's just and then down here, Orphic, mysterious and entrancing beyond ordinary understanding. And then on the back we have this amazing image. Let me just take this elastic off here. I just love how spooky this is. And here it's, the quote I put down here is, "Here I opened wide the door, darkness there, and nothing more." And of course by our friend Edgar Allan Poe. And so I'm kind of on the fence if I think she is looking into the door and that's where the darkness is going to arrive, or if she's coming out the door and she is the darkness. You know what I mean? Can't quite decide. So, we have this ghoul. A traditional witch, which I'm just... You guys, I've said it a million times. I love, love, love traditional witches at Halloween. And there's little cat hair on there. Big surprise. And this is Into the Darkness. And of course... I did the same image on the back of them because I absolutely love this image. So that's that one. And then here we have another traditional witch. Of course, she's under the full moon, which there's nothing better than a Halloween night with a full moon. Was it last year? Was the full moon or the year before? I think it was last year. It was a lot of fun, I have to say. So she's got her cauldron here, and this is There's Magic in the Night. And then, again, spooky darkness in the back, or on the back. So, these covers are made with chipboard. And what I did was, I got the images that I wanted to put in the front, and then, of course, in the back. And I Mod Podged, I always want to say Mod Podge, but I Mod Podged over them, I think 4 or 5 times. So I glued the cardstock on first and did a quick coat of Mod Podge, and then I put her on, and then did 4 coats of Mod. So they're on there really, really well. And I like the sort of grainy texture that Mod Podge gives. You can kind of feel a little bit of it as well. So yeah, so again, they are all the same in the front. And they all have the ghostly ghouls at the back. And then, of course, at the back, there's this cardstock with the frilly lace. Or the organza trim. Because I say, you might be a ghoulish witch, but you could be a ghoulish witch who likes pretty things, right? So there's the ghosts there, and yeah. So Okay, let's just get into the good stuff. Before I forget, this journal has 64 pages. So that is 128 front and back. There is, in the back of each of these, at the very, very back, which I like to do with these bigger journals every year, there is a raven oracle card. Now, I haven't looked at this. I have no idea what the message is of each of the 3 cards in each of these 3 journals are. This is just, whatever the message is on these cards is just between you and the universe. I have no idea what this says. So, there's one of those in each of these. We have 122 large and medium-sized tags, 40 small tags, 5 envelopes of various sizes, including 2 that are coffee dyed, 9 wraps, which just means paper that I like to wrap around another piece of paper, 10 tabs that I've glued in to get you started, 3 black doilies, and 14 of the jumbo-sized paper clips with the fabric and ribbon on them, and a multitude of rusty paper clips as well. I've put a ton of rusty paper clips in here. So, let's just get into it. Now, how am I set up here for... Are we even? Everything's okay, so it's not gonna bug you? Okay, good. So, we've got the very spooky staircase here, which I love, 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 and this is Something Wicked This Way Comes. So I thought it would be appropriate to have a ghoul ghost right beside the staircase. And of course, in all the journals, we have this sort of spider web looking trim. And then here we've got our ghoul who lingers behind, and then a very scary gate. And all the tags, of course, I printed on cardstock. Right. And this first page is cardstock. And here we have Something Wicked This Way Comes as well. And then when we flip over the page, here we've got a witch tag. And so I couldn't resist. I put I be the witch of the wood here. And of course she's in the woods. And like I like to call myself, Captain Obvious, stating the things that you can clearly see. But anyways, and you will notice that I have included quite, this year I went heavy with sort of a damask looking paper because it reminded me of spooky wallpaper in a haunted house, right? Okay, so we got that there. On this side, I have got the Plague Doctor. We have got this cardstock little black card here, which will be great for hidden journaling. And then a large legal size envelope that I've coffee dyed. So these, in each of these, it's the same size envelope with the same sticker, but obviously some of the coffee dye will look different. And I did spritz these with some Tim Holtz spray, so that's obviously going to be a little bit different as well. And this is coffee dyed paper here, which again will look a little bit different in each journal. But what I did was I stuck to the same pattern. Oh, and by the way, forgive my hands. I was in the garden today and I scrubbed them, but they just wouldn't come up squeaky clean. So see, this is the same, but a little bit different. So each coffee dyed paper has the same print on it. It's just that, as you all know, coffee dyed paper is all one of a kind, essentially. Okay, let's wrap this back around. This is a nice thick cardstock as well. So to say I enjoyed putting these together is an understatement. I mean, I couldn't have had more fun. And then we've got these potion tags. And then instead of cutting them out, I just decided to leave it as a large tag. Oops, sorry, you can't see here. So this way you could use it as a large journal tag, or, you know, you can cut them out if you want to. So that's there. We've got a bat tag here, and then a spooky nun here. And she just goes there. And then we've got Dracula here, Tales of Horror, and that's just a tag there. Now, I think I only glued in 3 or 4 things in these journals, because you guys know, I've said it 100 times, I like to give you a lot of really great ephemera to work with, but I don't glue or stick in a lot of things because I want to leave that up to you so that you can create a journal that really makes you happy. You put things where you want tags to be and pockets to be, not where I necessarily think tags and pockets and all that kind of thing should go. So I always say I've curated this for you. Now it's time for you to really personalize it and have fun and just go to town and make it your own, right? So at the top, here's another one of these little folded cardstock tags. And then we've got a very ghoulish witch here and another big giant tag there. I mean, you could turn that into, again, if you wanted to make that into a pocket, you could. Whatever, a tip out, I mean, yeah, whatever your little spooky heart desires, my friends. So that goes there. And then on this side, we have spectral of or like a ghost or phantom coming from or seeming to be the spirit of a dead person or like a ghost. So, I mean, hello. That is the visual definition of spectral, in my opinion. So that just gets tucked up in there. I love it. I love how spooky this is. On this side, we have a really nice black envelope, 5x7. And then this is cardstock too, by the way. This is copy paper that I've printed. Then we've got our tags. So when I say, what did I say, 40-something small tags? I mean these tiny little tags. Things that you could turn into tabs or whatever you want, right? And then here on the other side, we have a copy of my favorite Edgar Allan Poe poem, Annabel Lee. And then what I think is a fantastic image of Poe himself. And then in these journals, I created these really big, giant tags, which again, I think are going to be great for hidden journaling. And I like, and again, you know that I like to layer things up and just have these little bits and bobs sort of poking out. And I like that the tag can offer you that, as well as I'm a big fan of these strings hanging out all over the place. So here we have spooky, clearly, and here's the first of the 3 black doilies. And it's not a spooky journal without a bottle of poison, because who doesn't love a good bottle of poison in the spooky season? Now, the one thing you might notice about these journals is I have created them for Halloween. But if you're like me and you love dark academia, dark spooky, witchy, creepy, macabre, you know, this isn't something that is just going to pertain, most likely, to Halloween and October, right? This is something that I think, if you're a lover of all things dark, then you can use this well into, you know, into the winter or even next spring. So I have not really put any references in here about Halloween, whereas in a lot of the other journals, of course, it's filled with specific for Halloween. And I did that because this way, if you want to use this well into another season and you don't want it to be about Halloween, then it's not. But you, of course, can fill it with a lot of Halloween things if you so desire. So here we have a haunted house tag, another one of those big giant tags, and wings and tongues of bat, premium quality. So that's just not the crappy dollar store wings and tongues of bats, my friends. This is the good stuff. And a rusty paper clip here. On this side, with a rusty paper clip, we have what was a file folder, and again, a nice big tag for some journaling, and then some creepy candles here. So you could cut this and turn it into a pocket. I mean, you know, whatever you like. And then we've got witch's shoes. And on this side, oh, I love this. Granny's Guaranteed Wart Growth Serum. Guaranteed. Not just maybe, but guaranteed to grow those warts. So you never know when you might need some of that. And then we've got, like I said, some of this creepy damask wallpaper here, which I just think is so, just really lends itself to that dark, creepy vibe that we love so much, right? So that is the file folder. This is coffee dyed paper again. And so here we've got a haunted castle, which I'm assuming that this is where this ghoul resides. And it is what I call one of the wraps. Because I don't know what it is. I just like to wrap paper around paper. And then you could have hidden journaling back in here if you wanted to, right? Like you could journal on something and then glue it in and stick it there and whatever. Ghouls that haunt the night. And that just gets all layered up there with the paper clip. And then on this side of the spooky house, we have this delightful vampire cat. Eee, how cute. And again, I thought it was fun to put that together because I really did sort of envision, you know, this very ghoulish kitty under the full moon with the bats. And, you know, as cats do, I sort of envisioned the cat sort of jumping around and sort of, you know, doing what cats do in the night. And, of course, fangs. Okay, copy paper that I printed. And this year in these journals, I tried to add a little bit more in the way of lined paper where you can actually write on and journal. Okay, I better hurry up because we're not even halfway through yet, and I'm 17 minutes in. Okay, so we've got some good creepy paper here to journal on, a journal tag, a lovely ghoul here. She'd be good with a haunted house behind her as well. This is cardstock, by the way. And we've got some ghoulish ghosts on a giant tag. Oops, hang on here. Dreadful, indeed. So this is copy paper. And again, the haunted house. And I just have this admit one ticket here, which I think is kind of fun. And then the candle here is just to sort of lend a spooky vibe to the spooky paper and the spooky haunted house. I was sort of envisioning this candle, this lone candle maybe burning in one of the windows there. A graveyard, and it's not a spooky graveyard without a black candle in it. So again, lots of room for journaling there. So this is regular paper. This is cardstock here. And then again, we've got lots of journaling space. Here is a really fun black lacy, what I think is sort of like gothic handkerchief. Chief or chief? I'm not sure. I think it depends where you come from. And then we have this witch under a full moon, a giant full moon in this, whoops, in the cemetery there. Spirits of the dead, indeed. You know she's going there to see who, she can talk to somebody, see who'll talk back. And then again, another giant tag. And the plague doctor here. Spooky copy paper. Spooky copy paper. Spooky copy paper. It's another piece of cardstock. And then another one of these cardstock to wrap around. This is some black construction paper that I thought would be fun for you to do something with. And there's black construction paper underneath the other side as well. So we've got scare mail. And it wouldn't be scare mail without a ghoul here. And then on this side, we've got another exceptionally creepy ghoul with the black paper. And then this is superstitious, which I can be. Okay, paper. Here's another one of the little envelopes. Cute little coin envelope here. And a tag for some list making, perhaps. How fun is that? Yeah, I love that there's, you know, I tried to sort of go with part Gothic, part creepy, part Victorian, part haunted house, you know. Another big giant tag. And then creepy doll girl there. Another rusty paper clip. I like how it leaves these marks on the tags too. So this is another wraparound on cardstock. And I put this paper in a couple times because I just love it. And maybe I need to bring it down a little bit. Okay, this is coffee dyed paper with the spider webs on it. And on this side, we've got, of course, the rest of the candles. A spooky ghoul that's just going to stick out like that. And then a scary night tag. This is regular paper. And, of course, here we've got classic witch. And I love putting these witches on like this that looks like black lace. Again, that provides a lot of journaling space. Perilous indeed. Okay, and then as you can see, we've got this amazing ghoul here in the dark with her candles. And this is another wrap. Whoop, sorry, I keep doing that. This is cardstock here. I put quite a bit of cardstock in these journals because, or cardstock pages, because I like the stability that cardstock offers in between the thinner paper, the regular paper. How cool is she? I love her. And I sort of envisioned her hanging around, you know, sort of haunting this window in this room. And this is darker and darker, the black shadows fall. Sleep and oblivion reign over all. 31 or 13, depending on your preference. And I love her. How great is she? Something wicked this way comes, absolutely. So again, lots of journaling space there. I love her against this sort of lacy paper. Got Witchy Poo here, and I love putting witches and frogs together. And then, of course, Cauldron for the witch. Copy paper, rat, moustaches. Use, apply every morning with moustaches until moustaches have grown all over the place. I think that's adorable. And you guys know I love to put rats and cats or rats and mice together. Copy paper. There is no beauty without some strangeness. Again, our friend Edgar Allan Poe. On this side, on the cardstock, again, we have another one of these Victorian looking hankies and a more hidden journaling there. And then I just thought layering up these black and white pieces looked really fun together like that. And lucky number 13. And then on this side, some ghosts that just get tucked up underneath so you can sort of see them. And then here this says, walking, I am listening to a deeper way. Suddenly all my ancestors are behind me. Be still, they say. Watch and listen. You are the result of the love of thousands. Oh, I love that. I love that quote. And so I couldn't resist putting that there and sort of with this idea that the ancestors are walking behind you, right? Paper that I printed, paper that I printed. Here we have a witch's circle. I sort of thought of sort of like the witch's circle in the graveyard here. And that's just blank. Another tag with a tail that I love. And we've got a seance here going on. So, of course, you have to have a Ouija board and a planchette to go there. Look at there. You know they've seen some stuff. They've seen some things that they do not want to talk about. Coffin tag there and another planchette. underneath that. Just gets tucked up there. Eerie, indeed. And how great is this? We've got the ancestors here in this giant tag. This is cardstock. How great are they? Oops. So again, it could be a tip-in, it could be a pocket, whatever you like. This is one of the few things I did glue in with two-way tape. And then that just says ancestors with a rusty paper clip there. And then here we have some witches putting together something in the cauldron. Flame and ashes, fear and rot. And then if you pull it up, there's a spooky owl behind there. And I left a little bit of the white here so that you could tuck that in. And it would sit nicely so that the hat just sort of peeks out, you know. So there's a little rat. Because there's probably some rat tails in this. I hate to break it to you. There's probably some rat tails in there. And then here we have, on this page, this is cardstock. Did I say that? Yes. Okay. Here we have some more cauldrons on the fire. So this tag is potions and spells from my cauldron to yours with a frog, because for me, frogs and witches go hand in hand. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burn, and cauldron bubble. And then this is another Poe quote on the back, and you'll see why in a minute. So yeah, I think that's super fun. And then here we have another image of Poe and then a raven ticket there to go underneath the tap, tap, tapping at my chamber door. Tag there, because you know witches love their poison. So here we have some paper again, some lined paper, some pretty but spooky paper, abracadabra here. Then on this side we've got another one of the lists, and this is from Macbeth, Double Double, Toil and Trouble, and another cauldron, because you know the witches are doing something pretty fantastical at the cauldron there. Tag, and then on this side, by the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. She's seen it. She knows. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary. So I have these two ghoulish ghouls here, ghostly ghouls, with the mausoleum, I think, sort of thing there. Anyways, I thought it was very fitting here in the cemetery. And then this is a pocket that I've actually glued in. And we've got a giant spell card. And then here's the other side of those tags, like in the front. And I thought it would just be fun to sort of put in here, because this is rat stew. Aunt Gertie's recipe. 12 large fat rats. Right? I didn't have the heart to put a rat here, even though I'm not a fan of rats. I was like, ooh. And so that's why the cauldron's here, because she's making rat stew. So how great is that? With her ghoulish face poking out by the cauldron. Okay, this is cardstock. Scary. You know that this gal here, she's seen this. That's what she's looking at. Spooky, spooky. I see dead people. I could not resist. This is regular paper. And then we've got haunted here. We've got this very brave soul confronting some ghosts and ghouls. So haunted, indeed. And then on the other side, we've got spider. So you've got a couple of spider tags there. Paper. Yes, gruesome, indeed, but also, in a way, kind of cute. So that goes there, and above the cemetery there. And then this is another one of the few places where I glued something in. So we've got, I glued on the black paper because they didn't look right on white, right? So this is This is glued down. How great are these two? Eee. So they just get tucked up in there. And then, of course, Fright. I could not resist. Sinister. You know she's seen him. She agrees. Sorceress. And then again, because I love witches and frogs, there's this great frog paper in behind here. Okay, and then the frog skeleton. This is a coffee dyed guest check that I sprayed with some Tim Holtz spray. And that just got tucked up there. And then this skull there. Spooky paper. This is another tuck spot that I did actually tape down. So we've got our ghoulish gal in behind here, and I thought she looked quite lovely in, again, this haunted staircase. Oops, sorry. I'm sorry I keep doing that. Yeah, sort of setting the mood there. Now, I haven't said this yet in this video, but you'll notice that with a lot of the fussy cuts, I've left the white border around. And that's because I did that so that if you like a white border and you want it to go in with some ink and ink around it, then you can do that. Or also if you want to go around and fussy cut and get rid of all of the white, then you can do that as well. So I sort of felt by leaving the white border, I'm giving options depending on what your personal taste is in this sort of thing. Folded 6-inch paper doily there. And then Poison, because my guess is she's had some of this to drink. And then she just gets tucked underneath the ghastly ghouls there. This is cardstock. And then here on this side we have a coffin pocket that I did glue in. And then a giant spiderweb tag with a ghoul coming out of the coffin. And then of course the cemetery with the full moon there. Here on this side is another coffee dyed envelope. I did do a little stamping on this because I couldn't resist. And then just a spooky cemetery, sort of against the spooky trees. This is also coffee dyed. So, oops, it's not a creepy cemetery without a ghost here. So I thought that fit quite well together. And then on this side, stoke the fire, stir the pot. Another great frog. Okay, where are we here? We're getting to the end. Graph paper. Scare mail, of course, here. Regular paper. Regular paper. A night of fright, indeed. I mean, hello. Oops. And then a tag with the spider on it. And some really, again, some really great creepy looking wallpaper that I fully believe this is in her house. This creepy wallpaper, right? And then again, more of the rusty paper clips. She's quite something, I have to say. Don't close your eyes at the haunted house. Dreadful. This is my kind of Halloween. You know, somewhat ghastly, the macabre, but without being gross or yucky or horror or bloody or any of that kind of thing. Okay, so those are two really big tags. This is cardstock again. And yes, dreadful indeed that she's missing her head. And then this underneath, we have the darky. This, I have rented lips today. The dark spooky staircase that's in the front of the journal. I thought it would be fun for you to have a tag. And then, you know what's going. She has seen some stuff. And this is, she's on the staircase here. That's sort of how I envisioned it. And then, because you guys know I love numbers and I can't resist, 3 plus 7 is 10 for the 10th month, even though this journal can go well after October. Coin envelope, regular paper, And then it's not Halloween without a stabby lady, right? Or a spooky journal without a stabby lady. Haunted. So I thought this would be great for you to glue something or write something in here. And then on this side we have one of my favorite elements of Halloween, which is black cats. And then here we have black cats hiss. Use with caution. You've been warned. Right? So this is just a wraparound tab thing here. And then this is the last doily, I think. Some are sworn to sweet delight, some are born to endless night. And then we have our vampire girl here. And again, you could cut her out. You could round the edges. It could be a tag. It could be a pocket. Tip out. Whatever makes you happy. And then we have a haunted house with a ghoul. And we have some spirits here. And then here's another pocket that I did tape in. I love doing this so you can just like you just see her eyes over the pocket. And then we've got a spider tag here. And here's the rest of her. So I left a little bit of the white here so that when you put it in, it just fits nicely with her eyes. And then here this is a sticker. And this is the same that's on the back of the journal. So I thought it would be fun for you to be able to use this quote somewhere else in the journal. And I just stuck that there because you know she's seen the darkness. Tag here. And we're right near the end. Here is another wraparound with some spooky Halloween or graveyards. That's ghosts. This is coffee dyed paper and another bottle of poison because as far as I'm concerned, you can't have too much poison. And then this is copy paper, and here we are to the end. And here's your private oracle card. And then I put this tag, this is my thoughts exactly. So I thought if you wanted to make some notes about your initial reaction to the message back here, you could just write it down there. And then this is coffee dyed paper. And then here, this is the cardstock. And we are at the end. So there you have it, my spooky friends. This is one of the big three. And indeed, it is quite full. So this should provide fun for weeks and days and maybe months for you. And then we just have the elastic that wraps around like this. So I hope that you enjoyed that. I mean, I can't even tell you how much fun I had putting this together. I mean, these just... It should be illegal to have this much fun with paper. You know what I mean? And then here's the other one as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments section down below. I will leave the links to these on my website. So thank you very much for spending this time with me and watching the flip through. And if nothing else, I hope it will motivate you to make yourself a good, spooky, witchy, ghoulish, dark Halloween journal for yourself, because there's nothing better in my opinion. So, you know what I always say at the end of the video, speak kindly to yourselves, enjoy your journal process, take good care of yourselves, and until the next video, I will talk to you soon. Mwah. Bye everybody, thanks again!